Alright, I'm just going to dive right in. For anyone who doesn't know me or follow my channel, I'm Susan and I'm a newly qualified dog trainer. I'm passionate about helping people build better and happier relationships with their dogs. And I want to kick things off with a quick story that I'm sure many of you will find familiar. Just the other day there, I was walking my dog Daisy and she was on her leash as we were in a busy park full of young children and lots of wildlife. A fellow dog walker struck up a conversation. They had an off-leash lap, and while they were chatting, the two dogs stood side by side for a moment, heads close, just checking each other out. The lab's owner then said to me, "Can you take your dog away? My dog doesn't like that." Now his dog could have moved away any time, as it was off the leash. I was the one holding the leash dog. I moved Daisy away, of course. I found a bench and I sat there for a wee while, really frustrated. I felt like I'd been told off again by yet another all-knowing man that knew my dog, but I knew that my dog hadn't actually done anything wrong. If this sounds familiar, that feeling of tension, of confusion, or maybe even a little bit of anger when you're just trying to have a peaceful walk with your dog, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Our goal in this video is to decode that silent conversation our dogs are having, especially those tricky on-leash versus off-leash situations. We'll break down what their body language really means, and most importantly, how you can become a confident advocate for your dog. So let's talk about the leash. It's our number one safety tool, right? It keeps our dogs from running off into traffic or getting lost. But in the world of dog-to-dog communication, the leash can create some real social awkwardness. Let's call it the leash paradox. First of all, leashes restrict natural body language. When dogs meet freely off-leash, they almost never run straight up to each other head-on. That's considered rude, even confrontational. They use big graceful curves, they approach from the side, they sniff and they circle. A leash can pull them into a straight line, forcing a face-to-face greeting that can feel very intense for a dog. Secondly, this is a huge one, especially for those reactive dogs. It's feeling trapped. A dog on a leash knows it can't get away. It has lost most of its important defence mechanisms, flight. So if a dog feels uncomfortable, it can't just create space. That feeling of being trapped is a major cause of what we call leash reactivity or barrier frustration. The dog learns that the best defence is a good offence, barking, lunging, or trying to make that scary thing go away. It's not aggression in the way we think of it. It's often a desperate attempt to create space. And thirdly, our own tension travels right down the leash. Have you ever seen an off-leash dog approaching and immediately tensed up? Your heart rate goes up and you get a little nervous. Your dog feels that instantly. That tension in the leash is a signal to them that says, "Be on alert, something is wrong." We're unintentionally telling them to be worried before the other dog even gets there. So we've talked about the challenge of the leash dog. Now let's flip the script and talk about the off-leash dog. The off-leash dog has all the freedom in the world. And with that freedom comes a huge amount of responsibility for its owner. Let's go back to my story with Daisy. The other owner told me to move my dog. But who was really had all the power to control the situation? He did. His dog was free to move. His dog was uncomfortable. He could have and should have called his dog away. I just think he was a wee bit of a dick. Think of it as the golden rule. Responsibility for managing an interaction always falls on the owner of the off-leash dog. An off-leash dog approaching a leash dog is like a dickhead walking into your office at work, standing over the top of your desk and getting upset when you point out how uncomfortable it's making you feel. The leash dog is in its office. It can't leave. For those of us on the other side of the leash, it's important to understand this. You are not in the wrong for having your dog on a leash. You are being the responsible one. So, how do we know if an interaction is going well or heading south? Let's break it down into a simple traffic light system. Green light signals mean things are going good and the dogs are relaxed. You'll see a loose, waggly tail and relaxed bodies. You might see a play bow, that's classic downward dog pose, and the greeting is brief, a mutual sniff, and then they might disengage. That's a sniff and go. Amber light signals are your warning signs. This is when you need to pay close attention. The bodies will get stiff and tense. You'll see a hard stare where the eyes are fixed and unblinking. The mouth will close. A high, stiff, wagging tail is not a friendly wag. It's a sign of high arousal and potential conflict. And that behaviour from my story, one dog putting its head or chin over the other dog's shoulder, that's a controlling, often intimidating gesture. It's a dog saying, I'm in charge here. This is a moment where things can escalate quickly. Red light signals mean danger. The interaction needs to stop immediately. This is the obvious stuff. Growling, snarling, showing teeth, lunging. But also watch for the raised hackles, the hair standing up on the back. And critically, if one dog is clearly trying to get away and the other dog is pursuing it or blocking it, you must intervene. Anyway, this is great stuff, and I'm sure you guys out there know it all because he was a man and I'm just a clueless woman. What would I know? What did I do wrong this time? Here's your game plan. First, you have the right to be your dog's advocate. It's 100% okay to say, sorry, my dog doesn't do on-leash greetings. I usually do this, especially in busy streets. I create some space. If I see a potential conflict, I turn and I walk the other way. Step behind a parked car. That's what one of my neighbours usually does with his little barky dog. It's your job to prevent the encounter, not manage it when it's already happening, which is what I think that man did. He prevented his off-leash dog from an unfriendly incident with my on-leash dog. For those of you with reactive dogs, I understand how you feel. It's hard, but remember your dog isn't giving you a hard time. They're having a hard time. Your job is to build their confidence and show them that you will keep them safe. So to wrap it up, on-leash greetings are inherently stressful for many dogs. It's the responsibility of the off-leash dog owner to maintain control of their dog. You are your dog's best and most important advocate. And as an owner of a mixed breed Staffy Corso, it's my responsibility to keep her and everyone else safe. Because as every other big dog owner out there knows, it's always our dogs that were born the wrong breed. So by learning to read those subtle signs and being proactive about creating space, you can turn a stressful walk into a peaceful and enjoyable one for both of you. So the next time I see that man in his lab, I will make sure that I give them plenty of space, man. Thank you very much for listening, and if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. But if you're a poor wee man that gets offended by my toxic femininity, please don't subscribe because I don't need your opinions anymore.